Welcome to the latest on C.S. Lewis, providing timely and timeless news and information. I'm your host, William O'Flaherty. Coming up, Mythlore Fall-Winter 2022 issue now available. Summer 2023 study tour of C.S. Lewis's Belfast and Oxford. C.S. Lewis-themed Mere Anglicanism Conference, January 26th through the 28th, 2023. And much, much more. Mythlore, issue 141, published by the Mythopoetic Society, was recently released. This latest issue includes articles about common themes between Lewis and Terence Fisher, a biographical sketch of Lewis's childhood nurse, Lizzie Endicott, along with 9 book reviews, all available free online. An archive of back issues is also available. C.S. Lewis Institute has a 10-day tour of Belfast and Oxford the summer of 2023. It's happening June 24th through July 2nd next year. Speakers include Michael Ward, Alistair McGrath, along with staff from the C.S. Lewis Institute. The deposit is needed by January 13th, with the balance due by March 1st. Telling a more beautiful story, lessons from C.S. Lewis on Reaching a Fractured World is the theme for the Mere Anglicanism Conference that's happening January 26th through the 28th, 2023 in Charleston, South Carolina. Speakers include Alistair McGrath, Michael Ward, Philip Rankin, Jerry Root, and Peter Kreeft. Conference sessions are at the Charleston Music Hall. Accommodations are next door at the Hampton Inn. Seating is limited, so register as soon as possible. Here's a quick look at a few other things worth noting. David Payne stars in Christmas with C.S. Lewis in select cities this month and next. Check his birdandbabyproductions.com website for more details. It's also the place to hear about his other Lewis-related plays. A Book Observed is a video series by the C.S. Lewis Institute. The first 17 of the 90-minute presentations dealt with an individual book by Lewis. The latest spotlighted Don Williams' book, Deeper Magic, which is about Lewis's theology. The 6th season of the podcast, Pints with Jack, begins in January. Their focus will be Out of the Silent Planet. The co-hosts are David Bates, Matt Bush, and Deacon Andrew Lazo. They also do interviews with authors of books related to Lewis. Here's something by Lewis you may have overlooked. The Problem of Payne is a book from 1940. It was his first book related to Christian apologetics. Although written for a popular audience and while containing an insightful perspective on suffering, it is often overshadowed by his landmark title, Mere Christianity. Here's a book I hope you have. Jack is a biography of Lewis from 1988 and republished in 1994 that was written by George Sayer. He was a student of Lewis in the 1930s and later a close friend. Many consider this book as the best general biography on Lewis. Here's a fact about Lewis you might not have known. Before he was famous for Narnia and his nonfiction writing, Lewis wanted to be a poet. Before his 21st birthday, his first book, Spirits in Bondage, was published. His second book, Dimer, was also poetry and was released 7 years later. Neither sold well at the time. Finally, consider checking out these resources I have online. Back in 2019, I did a podcast interview with Dr. Jennifer Woodruff Tate about a new devotional for Advent entitled The Grand Miracle. It's available free online and limited printed copies can be purchased. Now that Season 1 of The Rings of Power is over, I did a special 90-minute interview with Serena Higgins, and Charlie Starr joined us. About the first half hour is spoiler-free. Back in July this year, I shared an interview with Mark Wallace McGuire about music projects he did on each of the books from Lewis's science fiction trilogy. I'm William O'Flaherty, author of the misquotable C.S. Lewis and C.S. Lewis Goes to Hell, a companion and study guide to the Screwtape Letters. Be sure to visit EssentialCSLewis.com to keep up with all the material I cover about Lewis, including how to find me on Twitter and the names of my various C.S. Lewis Facebook groups that I oversee. The latest on C.S. Lewis is a feature of the Knowing and Understanding C.S. Lewis YouTube channel. Let me know what you think of this episode by leaving a comment. Also, be sure to help me promote it by liking and sharing this with others. Plus, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. If you have news of something related to Lewis that you would like me to consider sharing, then leave a comment or email me info@essentialcslewis.com.